Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, what can I say? Beryl's broken again. We've been out doing a shakedown test. Yeah, we had a run up into the Peak District. We went down to the Adventure Overland show, so we've probably done like about another 300 miles, probably 350. Beryl has got a massive oil leak again on the front crankshaft oil seal, the one that we put the new camshaft seal in, new timing gear, everything. It's leaking again and I have no idea why. It's just pouring out the weep hole. I say pouring, it's dripping and then, you know, blowing all over the axle and up the back of the engine. So on this episode we're going to be pulling this timing gear off again and having a look what's wrong. Let's have a look in this engine bay. Now, I'm going to have to take timing cover off again, auxiliary belt and the crankshaft pulley. That's not going to take me long to do. I'm going to pull all that off and then we're going to have a look to see where the oil's coming from. There's only two places it can actually be coming from. It's either coming from the camshaft, which is located somewhere there, or the crankshaft. Everything's brand new. I don't know why it would be leaking. So yeah, let me get all these bits off. I'll bring the camera back when I've got it all uncovered. Timing cover's off, guys. Right. Cam belt's fine. Nothing wrong with that. That's been running perfectly. But let me see if I can zoom in for you. If I can zoom in a bit more. There is a hell of a lot of oil at the bottom of there. And it all looks to be coming from the crankshaft. I'm going to take the cam belt off. And then we'll have a proper look at it. Make sure it isn't the camshaft that's leaking. But it definitely looks to be all in the bottom end. You saw me replace all those seals. I don't know why that would be leaking. Oh, here comes Teddy, if you can hear that dog yelping in the background. But yeah, there you go. Just getting a bit closer with the camera for you. But yeah, there is just a pool of oil in there. Right, I'm going to get all this out and we'll have a proper look. And this is kind of hard to film for you guys. This has been filmed on my phone and yeah, sorry for the wobbly cam, but that is the pump coming round to TDC. So because I can't see in there to see where the hole is, I'm actually using the phone to do it. Well, let me pull back for you. Hang on. Yeah, so there you go. So just using my phone I can see down into the pump itself to get TDC. So there you go. Easy way of finding where the alignment hole is for the pump. Now somewhere I've got my key. So if this works right, there you go. Locked off at top dead centre. I'll now just check the flywheel as well. Well, now I've got the cam belt off. It's definitely the lower crankshaft oil seal that's leaking. Don't know why, that's brand new. I'm going to pull it out in a minute. But I found a couple of other problems while I was in here. Namely, that's got play in it, and that's the power steering pump. It's as noisy as hell when you spin it by hand. So I'm going to get a new power steering pump, and the bearings and the alternator are noisy too, so I'm just going to get that reconned. I'm going to whip that out and drop it down to the auto electrician, get that done. So the jobs never stop, do they? So I'm going to get that cleaned out now. So I'm going to get a tray and a brush, get that all washed out. I've just been to get some parts cleaner, but everywhere's shut. It's Saturday afternoon and there's not a car shop open. I'm not driving to Crewe to get some. So yeah, I'll get that cleaned out and I'll be back in a minute. Well, that's a new seal, a new O-ring. The pulley's, you know, brand new anyway, the bottom pulley. And I have no idea why it was leaking. I really don't. So all I've done is replaced all the seals again. But it was definitely leaking from there. The only thing I've actually done this time is when I've put the lower seal in, I've wiped a tiny little bit of silicone around the seal just in case it was leaking round the seal. I mean, the odds of that, it's fairly tight. I've had to drive it in, so I can't see it being that. So I don't know. So I'm just going to put the timing gear back on now, put the belt back on, put all this back together. It's a bit of a mystery, that one. And we'll see if it does it again. If it does it again, I have no idea. I'm getting another engine. I've literally got... This is not fun anymore. This is the third time in 2 weeks. Yeah, third time in 2 weeks I've had this cover off and replace these seals. So there's obviously something that I'm missing, or I've double checked the seals. I've checked the seal numbers. I know they're the correct seals. I'm at a loss. Right, I'm going to chuck this cam belt back on, and then we'll tear this power steering pump off and this alternator, and they can go, well, the alternator can go off for reconning and the power steering pump can go in the bin. I'll order a new one. So yeah, I'll just put the cam belt back on. Well, a bit late, Ted. It's a bit late for an inspection, mate. I just talked to the dog before I set fire to this truck. Everything just went south really quickly. Tightening up the cam belt, tensioning the idler, taking it up to 45 Newton meters, got up to about 30 and it went slack. Yes, the stud has just stripped in the head, well, in the timing cover. The stud's spinning. And now I can't get it out, which is even better. I could probably, if I could get it out, I could probably helicoil it. What I'm going to have to do is try weld a bolt on it and see if I can get it out that way. Oh man, I hate this engine. I'm really starting to hate this engine. I don't mind, it runs really well, but it's just a pain in the arse. I am seriously unhappy now, right now. So I think, you know, the title of this video was probably right. Beryl is broken, and now she is properly broken. I'll crack the welder out and weld this stud on, see if I can get it out that way. Man, never rains, does it? But it pours. Bloody Land Rovers. Alright, let me get the welder out. I don't feel like talking to you guys at the moment. Not happy. That might work. Who knows? I don't know. Who cares? Long shall I don't know what happened there, guys. The camera cut off. So I managed to weld a nut on that and I got it out. The threads are just gone. I've just put a tap in there. I thought the camera was still running, but it wasn't. There's no threads left in there. I'm going to have a go at helicoiling it. If not, it's going to have a whole timing cover, the whole front of the engine. And at that point I might as well just pull the engine out. I've got someone who's got me another engine. I've just got to go and fetch it. Yeah. Right, I'll try helicoiling it and I'll be back in a bit when I've maybe either destroyed it or helicoiled it. Okay. I've now just drilled that out. There you go, you can see in there. Ready for helicoiling. Sorry if the audio's not too good, guys, this is my phone again. But that's nice and square in there. That was a pig to do. So, right, I'll tap that and helicoil it now. Right, back on phone cam again. I managed to get the helicoil in. So, hang on, where are we there? Just got to snap the barb off in the back. Can you actually see it? There you go. Nice new stainless steel thread in there. That should be a lot stronger than the aluminium. So it won't strip now. What a pain in the arse. At least we haven't destroyed the engine. I really thought I had, guys. Well, I can say the crisis is averted. Helicoiling it worked. And it's torqued off and locked off now. What a pain in the arse that was. Not something I want to do every day. But when you think about it, those bolts that, well, that actual pin is supposed to probably have 2, maybe 3 cam belts. It's had 3 cam belts taken on and off it this week. So it's no surprising it failed. But it's still all timed back up. That's locked off. I'm going to just pull out the timing pins and rotate the engine now, and then I'll sort out the cover. But it's getting late, so I think I'm going to leave this till tomorrow before I throw something at it. Well, now I've had a chance to calm down, more relax after what's happened. Yesterday I did the full, couple of revolutions on this, and this timing gear seems fine now. But I had a thought. Now, if you go back to the Beryl is broken video, the shakedown test that we did, and the engine at its cam belt, and I couldn't understand why the timing gear had slipped. Well, maybe that stud was actually on its way out. It all torqued up. Hello, Ted. It had all torqued up, and maybe under load, it actually pulled out. That's all I can think, is that it actually pulled the threads. But it's weird because when I put it all back together, oh, hang on, someone wants attention. When I put it all back together, it torqued up okay, and it's been fine. And when I went to torque it up again, as you saw, it slipped. So I'm wondering if it had actually, started to give up. But hopefully it's fixed now. We should have cured it by helicoiling it. So are you going to leave me alone now and let me fix this engine? Look at this, so needy. You are so needy. Oh, go down. So now I've got to put the timing cover on. Put the timing cover on, I'm going to pull the power steering pump and I'm going to pull the alternator. I'm going to drop the alternator up to be reconned, like I said, and I've just ordered a new power steering pump. So let's get this back together and give it a test run, and then I'll pull the bits off just to make sure everything's okay. Never ends, does it? Never ever ends. Timing cover's on, so nothing else for it now, just to start it up. I've not put the auxiliary belts on because I'm going to pull the power steering pump and the alternator off. It'll run without those on. Well, it'll run long enough for me to test that I haven't messed up the timing. I've taken all the timing keys out. So that's it, nothing else for it. Turn the key, see what blows up. I think we've done this before. I think we did this in only like 2 videos ago. Well, so far so good. The red lights have come on. That's good. Everything sounds nice. Think we're on a winner. We'll see if it starts leaking oil again. I hope not. I am sick of taking this apart. That sounds nice. Well, that's good. Engine runs, sounds really sweet actually. So like I said, take all these ancillaries off and get them sorted. I've got a pump on order and I've got to get the alternator out. So impact gun I think is going to be the quickest way to do this. So this is just a case of taking everything that's in my way off. And the oil got that far up. Well, it didn't come out of that, it's definitely splashed up there. So yeah, that's another piece off. Right, power steering pump's there, alternator's the other side, so get the front pulley off so I can access the rear nuts, get that out, drain it. So I'll have to drain the power steering off. That's fairly simple to get out now. Luckily, with this being an engine conversion as well, I've got loads of clearance. The engine's not pushed all the way up here, so there's loads of room to work. That is the benefit of this putting a 300 in this. Right, more bits to take off. That's that out of the way. I can't actually remember which of the retaining bolts for this. I think the pump just comes out the front, so I think it's that one, that one, that one, and the whole thing comes out. It's a while since I've taken one of these out, so... Oh yeah, that's jiggered. Right, we'll get that out and get it drained off. Lovely. Oil everywhere. There you go guys, I've just set up another camera just so you can see a bit better. So I'm assuming that I need to take that bolt out. Like I say, it's a while since I've done one of these. In fact, I can't actually remember the last time I did one. That one. That one, and I think there's one on the other side. There's one down here. That's power steering pump out. There you go. So all I could do now, drain that, drain the fluid off, so pull the bottom hose off, drain the tank out, unbolt it off the bottom of the pump, and that's ready for a replacement one. That looks a bit grungy in there. So like I said, there's a Jubilee clip there. I think you can see that. I'm hoping that's in shot for you. And there's a hard line on the other side that's bolted in. So I'll get that off. I'm going to get a pair of gloves actually. That's a bit manky. And when the new one arrives, we'll get that fitted. And then we're just going to take the alternator out, which is here. And then I think we're on a winner. I'm just hoping that bottom seal doesn't start leaking again, because it really is getting beyond a joke now. Right, okay, I'll get them off. The alternator's out now. Easy job to take that out. It's just 3 bolts. In fact, it's 1 bolt, a nut, and another bolt. So that's out. And I want to just show you why I'm replacing, well, having this reconditioned. Let me just take my microphone off. Excuse what's it, the noises, but that is not a happy alternator. So that's why I'm going to have new bearings chucked in that. there's the power steering pump, the old one. Just leaving it as it is. I've got to pull the bracket off when the new one comes. This, hang on, you might not be able to hear that. There's quite excessive play in that. Again, still working, works fine. Bit noisy, again, works perfectly. It's putting out 14 volts according to the meter in the truck. But noisy, and if you start listening around the engine, as I've changed all the things that were noisy on it, like the auxiliary belt tensioner, the front timing cover bearing, replace that. These are the last two noisy things in there, except for that big diesel lump in there, that's fairly noisy. But yeah, off to the auto electrician for me. I have parts. Everything's arrived. New power steering pump. Doesn't sound as knackered as the old one. It's slightly different, but it does fit. And I've been and picked the alternator up. There's the old bearings that came out of it. They give you those back. He says they were absolutely sharp. Let's just cut them off and have a look. That's the, oh yeah, where's my microphone? Yeah, that's had it. That's noisy. The other one. Yeah, there's actually play in that one as well. Yeah, they're done. Well, this is lovely and quiet now. A couple of new bearings in it, I bet you won't even hear this. No, bet you can't even hear that. So there we go. All the bits back. So first job, put the alternator back in, I think. That's going to be the easiest. It's the way everything came out, so that can go in first. So alternator's got to go back in. I can't actually get a camera down here to show you guys because I'm in the hole where the camera's going to be. So there's a long bolt that goes through there, and there's a nut that goes in there. That's it. And then there's three wires on the back. And that's it, that's all there is to putting that in. So I'm going to stick this in first and then we'll do the power steering pump, because I can actually get a camera into there, but not into this bit where I'm going right now. It's awkward. Let there be light. So there's the long bolt. I'm going to get it suspended on that. In fact, what I'll do is I'll get my phone and then you can see what's going on. So it's still not any easier to film even with the phone, guys, but the bolt goes through there and there, that long one, and that holds that in, and then there's three wires on the back and one bolt at the bottom, and that's it. I'll try to get what footage I can. And I've got this attacking me. How needy are you? Really? But look at me, I am needy and scraping at my leg to be for attention. Look. Really? Go away. Let me do some work. Now, I needed two hands to do that. And he's still scratching at the truck now. There's, yeah, there's that bolt, it's gone through now. So I'll just get this on and I'll show you when it's all done. There you go, alternator's all in. Not the easiest place to film, is it that? But yeah, all done. Power steering pump next. So here's the new power steering pumps, and they're pretty much identical. I said this is an aftermarket one, this is a genuine one. So first thing to do, remove the brackets, because we've got to put this bracket onto that pump. I think I was just going to do a wire brush before we fit it, because that's a bit grungy, isn't it? Right, be back in a second. We can discard the old pump. I'll stick that in my parts bin, you never know. And just reattach this one. Everything lines up, that's good. There we go, that's ready for putting in now. Right, I've just quickly grabbed my phone. It saves me going and getting another camera out, guys. The power steering pump's going back into its home. So I've just put the bottom pipe on. I've put the high pressure pipe. That's on finger tight because I'll tighten it up once this is in place. And that literally just goes back into its home there, and then there's 4 bolts. So simple job. And I'll just button the pulleys up and we're ready to start this again. Oh, I hope it works. And if by magic, power steering pump's back out, this pump doesn't fit. It fits in the hole, it's physically, you know, the dimensions of the bolt holes all line up, but the seat where the high pressure pipe goes on this one is deeper than the one on the original one. I can't show you, it's too dark, you can't get the camera in there to see, but that seat where the high pressure pipe goes on this one is a lot shallower than this one. It's a hell of a lot deeper. It wasn't until I went to tighten the pipe, it goes in, it screws in, the threads are all the same, just can't get it to seal. So good job I didn't start the truck up or anything, because there'd have been power steering fluid everywhere. No, there is power steering fluid everywhere anyway, so, but yeah, and I've just had a quick look on the internet and most of them that you buy are this one. So I don't know why that would be deeper. I really don't. 1 step forward, 2 back, innit? Bloody Land Rovers. Okay, I shouldn't say that. It's not Land Rover's fault. Aftermarket parts are crap. Okay, let me see what I can find out. Well, I've just made an executive decision. I've just put the old power steering pump back in for now. There was no way that other one was going to fit. Like I've just shown you, the seat is much too deep in it to actually seal. So I've just found a company that does reconditioned power steering pumps. So it'll be a genuine power steering pump. That's going to be the answer. So I'm going to put this one on now so we can test everything and I'll sort that out. So we'll be revisiting the power steering pump shortly, but I'll get this up and running. I mean, there's a bit of play in that one. It's not horrendous. It'll run for now. It was running before, so that's why I put it back on. If it had blown or it was leaking, I wouldn't have bothered. I'd have just sorted out the other power steering pump. So like I say, I am going to sort out a recon one. So that'll be going off for service exchange, I would have thought. But yeah, so I've just got to put the 2 pulleys back on and then we can fire this up again, make sure everything runs. So I'll fire these 2 pulleys on and we'll see if it's quieter at least. It'll probably be more noisy because I actually don't think I've got any power steering fluid. Just thinking of that, I think I'm short of power steering fluid. I'll go and have a root round on the shelf, see what I can find. It never ends, it never ends. There you go, all back together for now. Like I said, we're going to be revisiting that power steering pump shortly. I found half a bottle of ATF, so it'll be a bit short, but it'll run for now. So shall we see if it starts up again? See if it's quieter than it was before? I should hope it will be. But yeah, let's get fired up. So, yeah, let's fire it up, see if it sounds any quieter, or whether it just blows up. It hasn't blown up yet, so we're all good. Well, it sounds quieter. There's strong smell of ATF. That's still got air in it, but it is bleeding down. That does actually sound a lot quieter now that alternator's gone. There's something making a strange clicking noise, and I'm wondering if it's the power steering pump. I bet it is. Yeah, something that isn't happy in there, and I'm wondering if it is that power steering pump making a row. I know it won't be the alternator, because that's not massively low on fluid either. It's only, well, it's at the bottom of the stick, but don't know. All we can do is top the power steering fluid up tomorrow when I can get some more, and just run it for a bit longer. That clicking noise is a bit concerning though. Okay, right, I shall see you lot in the morning once the car shop's open. It's about 3 days later. I've got some power steering fluid. I've been busy at work. Oh, there goes the label. So we'll top this up and we'll see if this pump's a bit quieter. Oh, that's tight. Is there a tab? No, it's just really tight. Oh, there we go. Spilt it. That's fine, that. So that's that topped up. Give this a test run. See if that pump's any quieter. Like I said, I am going to replace that pump. It's just in temporarily. So to make sure that we can cure this leak on the front crankshaft oil seal. So I'll fire it up and we'll see what it sounds like now. So there you go, that's shut the power steering pump up. It was just low on fluid. That funny clicking noise has now gone away as well. There's I don't know what that was. I'm assuming it's because the pump was low. But now all I can do is take this out for a test drive. We've got probably going out next weekend, give it a good run, see if it starts leaking again. There's no point taking it on just a short test drive. It probably won't show up unless it was actually pouring out, and it won't do that, it'll just weep. So this needs to go on like a 100-mile run or at least a 50-mile run to see if it starts leaking again. So that's all we can do for now. So yeah, that's it. I'll wrap this video up here, guys. So if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you give me that thumbs up. Definitely make sure you're subscribed. Click on that notification bell for when the new videos come out, and I will see you on the next one.